Alrighty, friends, how are you today? Aaron here, bringing in your daily horoscope for the 9th of October 2019. We've got the moon moving out of Aquarius into Pisces. Okay, so we're going out of futuristic thinking, light air sign, community driven, into Pisces. The completion of the zodiac, the unconscious, we're tapping right. I love it. It's Aquarius is the water in the air that allows the electricity to flow, where Pisces kind of is that water, right? It is that connecting everything. It's like that black matter that's moving through everything. I can be in the middle of the woods, but I still have cell phone signal. It's just like in the middle of the woods and nothing is around me, yet somehow there's still this data. It's invisible data that's streaming through me. Or if there was a wall of human beings, right? If we made a wall of human beings, a box of human beings, and one person's in the middle on their tablet or on their phone, they're still getting that Wi-Fi signal. They're still getting data. It's just like we're not this solid thing, There's life moving through us. There's all of this unseen energy that's, right now it's this sweeping hand of fate. That's how this is. That's how the chart is right now. We have this sweeping hand of fate, and it's bringing people together, okay, in the most beautiful way. We should be rejoicing and, jumping for joy as we're like finding our tribe, right? And then we've got Venus moved out of Libra, out of her home sign, into the depths of passionate, watery Scorpio. Okay? Sex, money, power, Scorpio. We're getting, not only we're going deeper, but we're getting excited. There's something interesting about the depth. And we're still dealing with other people. I mean, the sun is at 16 degrees of Libra. Mars is at 3 degrees of Libra. Okay? So we have an exact opposition, Mars exact opposition to Chiron today. Chiron's in Mars' home sign of Aries. All right. So Mars wants to be about it's me and my journey. Well, with this opposition to Chiron and Mars being in Libra, Venus's home sign, it's saying, okay, this is about other people. This is about my journey with others, my solo journey, or me battling this by myself is over. We're absolutely surrendering, we're surrendering and we're opening up and finding the others that are joining us on this battle, which is really fun, right? And we still have, so let's show you the chart. We still have really fun aspects happening to these two bad boys up here in Capricorn, right? The two bad boys. Saturn is perfecting our love. Our love now went from diplomatic Libra and compassionate, and we want to see the both sides of the fence, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. Where here it's saying, yeah, but I got to be me, and I got to follow my passions. These ooey gooey drippy things that I just have so much feel for. That's this depth here in Scorpio, and Venus and Mercury coming a little bit closer together now. As Mercury's going to slow down, Venus will pass it up here in a little bit. But, starting to create this opposition to Uranus. We're breaking this old. With this new information that's coming in, we're breaking this old pattern. We're breaking this old cycle. With the love that we feel, okay? The love that we feel. We are able to break this old pattern, this old thought, this old tradition here. We've been stuck. This love has been stuck. And we get to free it. Completely free. Not only is it free, but we're completely changing the game. As this quintile here to Saturn, Venus quintile to Saturn, this is such a beautiful creative energy. Okay, again, between something that wants to make it perfect, that coal into diamond. I want to perfect this. So how do we perfect our love? When our love and our passions and our communication here, the quintile, that's another creative communication like we talked about yesterday, right? Further, I want to just say this. Not only do we have the exact opposition from Mars to Chiron here and saying, yes, full-fledged ahead, we're working with others, we're dealing with others, we're being about others, but we have the quincunx here, the 5/12 aspect from the sun over here to Neptune, okay? Now, again, this aspect here, Neptune sextile to Saturn, is again, that's creating a greater life that we've ever known. Okay? This Neptune quincunx here, this is an annoying aspect dealing with other people. This is saying surrender. Surrender your judgments. Surrender your ideas of what things are. Again, we're changing our information here. Pluto, creating that quintile Mercury to Pluto. So again, information, what we thought was bad is actually something positive. Something that's positive happened and ends up turning to be a negative. This happened and this, it's like dominoes. Well, they got pushed over. So what? Is it a tragedy? I mean, it's like playing a game of Jenga and being mad when it topples down. It's just like, well, that's the game. And now we have the joy of rebuilding it and playing another round. We pick the dominoes up and now we can make a new pattern. We say it's just like, oh, but we've perfected that pattern. That was the pattern, and I loved it. I loved how it looked and I never had to touch it again. It's just like, once I was done with it, I was done, And it's just like, oh, you've painted one masterpiece. You've written one song. You've done this one thing, and you never want to touch it again because, well, if I come back, and if I make a second one, if I make another painting, or if I make another album, or another song, or another whatever, then I can be judged by others, right? I can be judged by others if I didn't hold my quality up to what I thought it was going to, or what they thought it was going to be, Or we can flip that around and say, there's no point in me to do these things because of others in the past. There's no point into getting into this business relationship or this love relationship, this love partnership, perhaps, because I've been down this road before. And again, we're shortchanging ourselves, right? We have this huge change of information coming in where it's just like, oh, well, holy smokes! Like, I didn't know it could be this good. It's like if you've been driving a really. My first car was a 79 Buick LeSabre, okay? It was a giant boat. The front seat was a bench, okay? One giant bench of a seat. It was amazing. My friend was like playing, there was like an AM radio, like wooden dash AM radio. My friend was like doing double bass in the front seat, put his foot through a hole made a hole in the floor through the floorboards. And anyway, you know what I mean? So it's like every time I turned, the car would like wobble like a boat and my gas tank would go down. All right, this was not a Corvette. Not that I drive a Corvette now, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like that first car to like, for me to judge driving off of, this giant front bench seats, the first time I went out with somebody, true story, I went on a date. I had no idea, and I was really excited. Went on a date, first got my license, got this big boat of a car. It was like I was buying it for my great grandmother, and I pull up to get gas station. All right, I'm gonna pump some gas. We're gonna go get some ice cream, whatever. Little kid, and I'm like, oh, gas tank's not on this side. So I get in the car, drive it around to the other side, and I'm like, oh, the gas tank's not over here either. It was under the license plate. I had no idea. I had to call like my mom or something. How embarrassing is that? Anyway, but like, there you go. How perfect to like judge, a first date to be like that. Well, I'm never going on a first date again. Or to judge, oh, yeah, I had a Buick before. It didn't drive well. It's just like, come on. Don't shortchange ourselves. Don't be so stingy. Don't be stingy. That we're closing the gap for the opportunity to expand to something greater than what we know. And that's a funny thing, like, depending on who, where we're at, I know there's a wide range of age in who's hanging out with me here, but it's like once we hit the age of 35, our brains are like, look, I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it all. There's no new experiences that I can experience. I've seen the plethora of all of the things. I've ridden all of the waves. So we have a very hard time of opening up. Our pineal gland starts to turn into a freaking rock in our skulls, and we get closed off, and life, this is as good as it gets. And I'm here to say that no, it's not, yeah, I know there's some actors that didn't even start their career till like the age of 50. 50. To just boom, do that, and all of a sudden to be a huge success. Colonel Sanders was like 70 or 80. He was crazy old when he finally figured out KFC. You know, he was crazy old, and he was like, if you read his story, it is such a beautiful success story, because it was just like failed experience, failed experience, failed experience. And it was that perseverance, you know, that perseverance to keep on going. So we were dealing with this. We're dealing with this perseverance. We're dealing with this, like, find creative new ways to look at things, find creative new ways to absorb information, find creative new ways to work with people, to, you know, follow your own passions, follow your own love. And it's something I see all the time, you know, and we talked about it a couple of days ago, is it's like, if it's like, hey, if your tribe, you know, if you feel passionate about going and doing this thing, but your tribe doesn't, your group of friends, you know, and it's just like, man, I really wish I had friends that were to go to this. And now I'm limiting myself and not wanting to go out, not wanting to follow that, you know, that impulse, that urge, right? But it's just like, no, if we follow that urge, we follow that impulse, we follow that instance, we're going to meet friends there. You know, there are no strangers. They're just friends we haven't met yet. You know, I love that. Thank you for the Dakota Inn here in Detroit. That's on the little piano, and I love that saying. I fell in love with it. Anyway, thanks, Dakota Inn. But that's what's going on here. You know, let's come back here for just a quick second. So we got the moon moving into Pisces. Okay, karma. We're going into our unconscious mind. We're going deep. We're going. You know, we're going to create this trine. Let me move this a couple hours forward here. Okay. You know, as the day progresses, you see this moon's going to create a perfect trine over here to Venus. And then a couple hours later, a little bit later on at night, it's going to, technically in the morning, whatever, over to Mercury, you know, while we sleep into our Z's. But this is a really beautiful thing. It's like, what do I need right now? What do I need? I need expansion. I need to see the world for other than what it is. I need to see beyond, you know. And here's another thing. I'm going to come back and we'll end it like this. The sun. When we're dealing with all of this, it's so important to know, like, look at all of the stupid things humanity has done to this planet. I want to cry. Look at all the stupid things humanity has done to our brothers and sisters, to our loved ones. Look at all the stupid things humanity has done, just in general. To oppress, to hurt people. And maybe it starts off with good intentions and gets turned somewhere, okay? This sun has never said, I mean, I don't think it speaks, not this way anyway, but it doesn't say, I'm giving up on humanity. I'm going to shine less bright today. Your crops aren't going to grow as good as they did yesterday, you know? This is a constant reminder of that unconditional, nurturing, giving, okay? The North Node down there in Cancer reminding us to be empathetic, to be compassionate. The sun right now over there in Libra wanting us to see everything from both sides of the fence. If someone has hurt us, wronged us, if we've hurt someone, wronged someone, you know, we have this unique energy going on right now that we're able to communicate or have insight into these things that can unlock. You know, words are magic. I'm absolutely convinced of this. Like, through conversations I had yesterday and today, it's just like, you can, you know, the right set of words put in the right order can change your life. Can change a whole conversation, you know, and we are able to have these conversations that are key turning, you know, mind opening, neuron firing, strength, strong, love, passionate conversations right now with others, because it's all about others, you know. Again, Mars in Libra, we are driving force of saying, yeah, it's other people. It's time to, you know, harvest the crops, and I need a team of people. I need a gang of people to do it with. Yeah. So over the next 2.5 days, we're going deep. We're going to reflect. We're going inward to our own personal expansion, starting a new journey. And we got a full moon coming up after that. So we'll talk about that soon. Enjoy your day. Oh, it's getting deep, man. All of this wild energy. I'm just gonna say with Venus, it's gonna be there for another couple of weeks. With Mercury, not, it's about to go retrograde in a few weeks. Just deep-rooted emotions, passionate stuff is coming up, and it's nothing to be concerned of afraid of. It's something to be excited about. It's something to seriously like be ecstatic about. To be ecstatic about, because we get to change. This is, again, we're unlocking this treasure box. This treasure box is something internal, and the gold is us, and it's the seeds that we're planting in our life, and then and it makes that sound when you open the treasure chest, and there's a rainbow that pops out. Yay! Okay, let's see you tomorrow.